Hey, what's up? My name is Marley. Welcome to my channel. And today we are going to be doing another day in my life vlog. This is a series I started earlier this year. I think I've only done 2 episodes so far, but basically I just film my day as a reader, diabetic, and Toronto girly. It is a Saturday today. I actually have been meaning to film this for a couple weeks now, but as you might be able to tell from my voice, I have had a cold for like the whole month of November basically, so I keep putting this video off, but I just really wanted to film another one of these videos. The original plan that I had was that I was gonna go out and do a little book shopping. This new location for Indigo opened in Toronto. Indigo is like our big bookstore here, but I keep being sick and I keep wanting to stay home and rest. That's what I had planned to do today, but I think I still am probably too sick to do that. I did cancel my plans yesterday so I could rest, and like I probably should just stay in, especially with the weather getting colder here. So I think it's gonna be a bit of a change of plan for the daily vlog, and I'm just gonna film like a lazy, cozy day in the life with me. Hopefully this video is not too boring. We're just gonna be here in my apartment, but hopefully I'll try to go down to that new Indigo location one day in another vlog maybe. We'll see. So in terms of plans for the day, not too exciting now that we're not gonna go out to the store. What I normally do on a Saturday, sorry I didn't say the time, but it's about 10:30, which is a pretty typical time for me to get out of bed and to start moving during a weekend. Just got a text my mom asking how I'm feeling today. Still sick, but yeah, this is pretty typical for me. I did have to get up earlier to feed my beautiful cat Peach, my beautiful but annoying cat, at 8 o'clock because I always feed her at 8 a.m. Go back to bed for a little bit until I'm ready to get up. And it is my weekend to clean. Me and Dakota take turns cleaning and it is my turn. So that will probably be my main thing that I focus on doing today, is just cleaning up the apartment and then of course reading. So as for my reading plans, sorry this is such a long intro to the vlog, I'm actually in the middle of 2 books right now, which is not common for me. I'm not really someone who likes to read multiple books at a time. I like to finish one off before I start the next one, but I am in the middle of 2 today because I was reading King of Fools by Amanda Foody, and I got almost halfway. I got to page 250, and if you don't know, this is the sequel to Ace of Spades, which I read earlier this year in a buddy read with Nat from Nerdy Nat Reads. But this book, I think I started it like a week ago, almost a week ago. It has just been such a slog for me. It's been putting me in a reading slump. I was barely getting through like 50 pages a day, and normally I read like 100 pages or more. So this was just really setting me back, and I was getting kind of like just slumpy reading this, just kind of like depressed. So we can talk more about this later because I probably will read more of it today. But yesterday I decided to take a break from it because that's what you have to do in a reading slump sometimes. You gotta change it up. And I was like, what will get me out of this reading slump? A murder mystery. So I picked up Murder in the Family by Cara. This is a British murder mystery that my friend got me for my birthday. It like was not on my radar at all. I heard no one talk about it. Now I have heard one person talk about it, but I'm surprised more people aren't because it actually is a very cool book. Basically, it's told all in like a multimedia format. So I could probably show you, like it's all like scripts or like text messages between the characters. You're not seeing that, or like articles or like forums. All these different things is how the story's told. This guy, his stepdad was murdered when he was a kid. He was like 10 years old, and now it's 20 years later and he is doing this TV show to figure out who really killed his stepdad 20 years ago. So there's this show called Infamous. It's on its like 7th season or whatever. The 7th season is focusing on this case. We have our main kind of cast of characters that are they all work in crime or like investigativeness somehow. So there's some like cops on the team, lawyers, journalists, and they are all reinvestigating this cold case from 20 years ago, and they're documenting it, blah blah blah. As I said, we're seeing reviews of the show as it comes out. We're seeing the script of the show to know what they're talking about, text between the characters, emails, all that kind of stuff. It's very cool. So I started it yesterday. Look how far I got into that. I read over 350 pages yesterday, and I easily could have stayed up to finish it, but I knew I was gonna try and film this vlog, so I thought it'd be more fun if I like saved it for the vlog. So those are the reading plans for the day. Let's get started. Oh, totally forgot to mention anything diabetes related for the first update, but I woke up with blood sugars around 7, which is not too bad, technically in range. I'm probably going to take a little bit of insulin with my coffee this morning though, because typically coffee will like spike me in the morning. Oh my god, I'm so sweaty from cleaning. I think because I rushed doing it too, because I just hate doing it. And I'm not good at it, but I try my best. Alright, it is lunchtime. It's just after 12. I have decided I'm going to make a buffalo chicken wrap for lunch today. A little bit high carb, which is probably not smart because I've been having some high carb things and my blood sugars are trending higher than I would like them to lately, but we're just gonna go for it. So the oven is preheated. Now, as a type 1 diabetic, I need to carb count. It's one of the many tasks I need to do. We need to see how many carbs are in this meal. First of all, we have our tortilla wrap that we're going to use. Unfortunately, at the store, they did not have any multigrain, so I had to just buy the original like white tortilla, which I would normally avoid because like pure white carbs like this, it's not the best. Not the best for my blood sugar. This is what we have, and according to the back here, it has 27 grams of carb. Then I'm going to be using these chicken strips, the breaded chicken strips. So the carbs for these, apparently it's about 10 carbs per strip, and I think I'm gonna have 3 of them on the wrap, so that's 30. So 30 plus, what did I say, 27, so that is 57. As for the rest of the ingredients, I'm gonna put lettuce on, which is like no carbs, cheese, which is like no carbs. I think I'm gonna put like a Caesar dressing on it, which probably has a few carbs, so we will round that up to 60. The buffalo sauce, which I think is 0, so we are at 60 carbs for the carb count, and then my blood sugar is at 6.5. So we're going to insert this in the PDM and then deliver my insulin for lunch, which is called a bolus. Sorry if you've watched my vlogs before and like already are understanding this process, but that's the point of these vlogs, is to kind of educate about type 1 diabetes. So I have it in here, 60 carbs, blood sugar 6.5. It's recommending 6.3 units of insulin, and I'm wearing my pod on my abdomen in case you're wondering, and that is gonna deliver the insulin from there. Because we're having this white tortilla, I'm actually gonna edit this and deliver more insulin than what it's suggesting. I honestly might up it to 8 units rather than the 6.3 it recommended, to try to avoid a high blood sugar after lunch, but we will keep an eye on that and see how that goes. So we are gonna deliver that. Perfect. Now I'm going to make the food and probably watch some YouTube while I make it. That's kind of what I always have on in the background. it is about 2 p.m. now. I have just finished Murder in the Family. Also, if you're wondering, an update on my blood sugars, I'm at 10, which is a little high, but not too bad. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Hopefully the tortilla does not make it go any higher, and we just kind of see it come back down in the next couple hours, but we'll keep an eye on it. Anyways, I just had such a great time finishing this book. I would highly recommend it if you are fans of murder mysteries, but I think I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars because the ultimate reveal of the killer was something I was suspecting from the very start. It was kind of my initial thought that I had from the start. But that being said, I feel like it takes you on such a wild ride. There's so many suspects that we go through, and that's one of my favorite things, is like just having so many different suspects that you could be making theories about throughout, so many different clues and information that's coming out. I just thought it was really fun to read through all that. I think it shows a lot of, you know, work on the author's end, just kind of making all these different threads connect and everything with this guy that was killed. He had a lot going on, but ultimately the big final reveal of the killer was kind of expected for me. There was also a little bit of a open-endedness with the ending, which I did like. It was another little twist that we had there. So yeah, 4.5 or 5. Maybe I'll deliberate on that a little bit. Maybe I should give it a 5. I don't know. I might just go with 4.5. I don't know. So yeah, I haven't heard many people talk about this, like I said, but I would recommend it if you are a thriller or mystery reader. It was definitely an enjoyable one. Now, what am I going to do the rest of the day? I don't really want to go back to reading King of Fools, but I guess I will try to read that. It's still pretty early in the day. I might start like working on editing this vlog or something. Dakota will probably be waking up in the next hour. He works nights, if you didn't know, so he did work last night, so he might get up soon, so I'd probably like hang out with him a little bit. I don't know. Or I might watch a little bit of YouTube and play some cooking games. One fun fact about me is I love playing cooking game apps on my phone. The one I'm playing right now, I forget what it's called. So yeah, I'll check in a bit and we can see where I'm at. Why can't I just eat food and not have to worry about this? I took a correction, but will it work? I knew these tortillas just mess with everything. It's 4 o'clock, not too much to report. I have just been switching between reading and going on TikTok, which is basically a summary of my life. Blood sugar is still high. I took that bolus, that correction bolus, so hopefully that will work. A lot of times, like, exercising and working out will help me to bring down a high blood sugar, but with being sick, I've been trying to not work out as much so my body can rest, as I've already said. So kind of annoying. I'm still relatively new to being type 1, so still kind of figuring out like balancing being sick and managing it. Just kind of sucks. All right, it is now 5 o'clock. I guess I've read like 30-40 pages, not much, but yeah, I guess I haven't really talked about this book yet. I did say that it's the sequel to Ace of Spades, which is a YA fantasy series. There is one more book after this. I read the first one with Nat, and she decided to DNF the series. She didn't like it as much as me. I give the first one 4 stars. I wasn't like in love with it, but I liked it well enough to continue. But this book is definitely worse, I would say, and it's 600 pages, which sucks. Essentially, we're following this girl named N, and she lives in like, I guess the preppy, richer area in this world. Her mom goes missing when she's visiting New Reyes, aka the City of Sin. So Anne goes to this City of Sin to investigate and try and find her mom in the first book. While she's there, she gets wrapped up in these like gangs, because in this world, or in the City of Sin, there's a bunch of like street gangs, street lords, and all this. The fantasy element is that everyone has certain powers, and I forget what they call them, but just based on their family, they have certain talents. So Anne always grew up thinking hers was dancing or something like that. And then we find out it's actually something else in a classic like YA twist. Our main character is special. Other ones that people have is like healing or taking pain away. What is Levi? See, like Levi is our other main character. I can't even remember. It's like being good at, is it being good at dealing? No, he makes the money that there's in this. See, like, oh my god, I'm so bad. Like, okay, so anyways, the only name she knows to go off of is this guy Levi. She was told by her mom or something that he could help her, so she teams up with this guy Levi, who is the head of one of these gangs. So she just gets wrapped up in this world. There's something called a shadow game as well, which they end up playing. Anyways, this second book is like the fallout of that, and the parts that I like about it is seeing Anne's character kind of building this reputation for herself as like she's gonna start her own gang and become her like a street lord or whatever, and it's kind of like a gang of women. So I'm here for that aspect. Like the feminist in me is like, okay, Anne. But Levi, that character I mentioned, he also has a point of view in this series, and he's also her love interest, and I just don't really care for his character that much. I think me and Nat were kind of like chirping him a little bit in the first book. Like he can be kind of cringe where he's this like 17-year-old guy, but he's somehow like the best at like being a street lord, and like he's like a prodigy. He's done so many cool things in his young age. I don't know. I think it's a symptom of reading YA as an adult. You're just like, teenagers are doing this, like what? He bothers me, and I don't really love the romance between him and N. I'm not totally sold by it, and I think for me to enjoy a series like this, like I would really need to be into the romance, and it's just not delivering. And there's not really any other love interest for N either. Like, where did the trend of love triangles go? I used to like love triangles. Like, let's bring another man for N so I can have someone else to root for. Levi does kind of have another love interest, but I don't really care about that. We have another point of view that was added this book too. His name is Jack, and he's like Levi's best friend and like the second in his gang. So I kind of like him. I kind of like his chapters and his story, but as you saw me like struggling to describe this world and like the magic system, it's like nothing is sinking into my brain, and I don't know that it's the book's fault. I don't know if it's just my fault. I mean, you just saw me just read a whole 400-page book in like a day, so I don't think it's my fault. Like, I think if this book was better, like I would be more interested. I'm leaning towards like a 3-star right now, but I'm literally not even halfway yet. So I'm not a DNFer. Like, I don't want a DNF, especially because I invested and like bought these books. It's just, I'm reading it and I'm not fully understanding the politics. There's so many other characters and like these different gangs and stuff like that, and it's just not fully sinking in for me. So this has been a complaint-y rant, but I guess I will try to keep reading this tonight. Maybe I'll start another book though. I don't know. And I don't think I said, so my blood sugars did manage to come down, so I can finally stop crying about my blood sugars. My correction bolus, which if you don't know what that is, it means I gave some more insulin. It seemed to have worked, so it came down to a okay level. When I have high blood sugars, it's not like an overwhelming feeling. Like when I have a low blood sugar, that is like I really feel it. Lightheaded, shaky. That's the one where like you might pass out if it gets bad enough. With high blood sugar, it's kind of just like I get really irritated and I get very like angry. It's also like something in my head, like there's almost like a blockage where I don't feel normal, I don't feel good. It's just really irritating for me. So it's nice that they came down so I can like feel more calm. But now it's basically time for dinner, so I might move over to the kitchen, put together dinner, and then you can see another carb counting session, and hopefully my blood sugars will not go as high after this meal. And here we have little Peach. She's been sleeping in the bedroom all day, but she has finally graced us with her presence. Hello. All right, we're back in the kitchen. Fun. So tonight we're gonna be making some pork. They're pretty thin, so we'll probably just fry this up. Pork is not my favorite, fun fact. Not my favorite meat, but gotta mix it up a little, you know? Dakota's working again tonight, so I'm just cooking myself, but I will cook him leftovers for him to have later. As for our, and in terms of carb counting, meat is generally 0 carbs, so we're safe with that. And then for a vegetable, we don't really have many fresh veggies right now, so I think I'm gonna do, my tripod is falling so much, oh my god. I think we're gonna do these like frozen green beans. Veggies generally are like no carbs or low carbs as well, so I probably won't even really account for this. Our main carb in this meal, we're gonna do some rice. This is vegetable medley, so at least there's a little bit more veggies in here. I like to buy this brand of Ben's Original Bistro Express because the way they put the nutrition on the back, you know how it will say the nutrition facts per whatever it is. A lot of things will say per such and such grams or this many cups. I like this because it says per pouch, which makes it way more easy to calculate because I know, okay, this whole pouch has 68 grams of carb, which basically you take the carbs and you subtract the fiber in case you don't know how to like count carbs. So it's 68. It's so much more difficult when packages say per and then a certain amount of grams, because it's like, who can just know how many grams they're having? That means you have to like measure it, and it just gets so annoying. Same with like cups or whatever, especially something like this, which we're gonna eat the whole thing and I'm literally gonna have half. If it's 68 for the full, obviously half of that's 34, so then I know it's 34. Sorry for that rambling rant on carbs counting. All right, and my blood sugar is about 7. So once again, we're gonna put it in my PDM, 34. Let's round it to 40. Oh my god, this is falling. I'll just leave it. And then, as I said, my blood sugar is 7. This is so crazy. I thought I tightened this. What? So I put 40 and 70. 40 carbs, 70 is my blood sugar, and it's suggesting only 2.7 because I already have insulin on board from my correction I did earlier, right? But I'm not gonna trust this. I'm gonna put it back up to 4. Basically, as a diabetic, you just have to constantly make so many decisions, essentially. So yeah, we're gonna do 4 units. I'm gonna confirm that. We're gonna bolus now because I'll probably be able to cook this really quick because a lot of this stuff is literally just heating up in the microwave. So all right, a little bit of time has passed. It is 8 o'clock and I'm hungry. My blood sugar is sitting at like 5.4, so the best it's been this whole day, this whole video. And the reason for that is obviously I overdid the insulin a little bit for dinner, right? But that's good. It's all good because I want to have a snack. So now I need to decide what I'm gonna have. Hopefully it doesn't just seem like I'm eating this whole time in this video, but it's the most relevant stuff to talk about with diabetes, obviously. I'm considering having cookies that Dakota made, but these are gonna be really sugary, so the good blood sugars might not last long if I go that route. Or I'm thinking of just having an apple with peanut butter. That would probably be a little bit better. So if I do that, the carb counting, yeah, maybe I should do that. The carb counting for an apple and peanut butter is, I kind of guess it a little bit. Basically a piece of fruit, like an apple, that's like the size of your fist. This is how they taught me, is like 15 carbs. So the apple will be 15. Peanut butter is 2 carbs for 1 tablespoon. So I normally just guess that I have around like 10 tablespoons with it, 10 to 20. Let's say that it's gonna be 20 wait, I'm confusing myself with this math. Wait, if it's 10 tablespoons that I have, that'd be 20 carbs of peanut butter. Let's say that. Okay, so let's say we're gonna do 50 more carbs. No, so let's say, wait, I'm I'm confusing myself talking to you about this. So 15 carbs for the apple, and let's say it'll be 20 carbs for the peanut butter. Is that too much? Let's just do it. So that's gonna be 35. So let's do another bolus. Okay, so I'm typing in 35. Blood sugar 5.5. It's recommending 3 units and 3.25. We're gonna confirm that. I'm delivering a lot of insulin today. What else have I been up to in the meantime? I cut my nails, which I honestly hate doing. It's so annoying. I obviously ate, did the dishes. You know, I've just been watching some YouTube, playing some cooking games. I think I will try to find a movie to watch tonight or start a new TV show because I'm not really in the middle of anything right now. So that is what you will see, I guess, after this. Alright, looks like the new show we're starting is this. Alright, finished the first episode of Ginny and Georgia. It is like 9:20. I obviously have been hearing about this show for years, and it's a little bit different than I expected. I thought it was just like a soap opera-y, like teen drama kind of thing, but there's actually like a darker twist to it. I feel like I'm gonna actually really like this show. It's about a mother and daughter. That's who Ginny and Georgia are. The mom had her when she was like 15, so she's a very young mother. You think Gilmore Girls? No. It's way like darker than that. It seems like the mom, Georgia, just kind of like scams a lot to get money and stuff like that. There is still going to be like some teen drama stuff as well, I think. But it was a good episode, very entertaining. I know it films here in Toronto or in the surrounding areas. There's a bunch of Canadian actors that I recognize, which is nice to see. A lot from Degrassi, which I watched growing up, so it's nice to see them again. And then some other actors I recognize from other things. Yeah, I guess comment below if you've watched it. I think I'll probably continue with this show. Okay, everyone, I think this is gonna be my last check-in for the day. It's like almost 11:30. I'm not gonna go to bed right away, but I just kind of want to end off this daily vlog. I basically have just been chilling like I have been the whole day. I did get to 300 pages in King of Fools, so I got to the halfway point, yay, which was like 50 more pages. We'll see how that goes. Tune into my wrap up at the end of the month to see my final thoughts on that and what I rated and everything. And then I've just been watching BookTube, like I often do. And I did have another snack. I had some popcorn, but I didn't film it because my phone was charging. Now I think I'll watch one more episode of Ginny and Georgia and hit the hay. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this vlog was not too boring since I just stayed home today. This was definitely channeling more of the diabetic side of my life. You didn't really get to see any of Toronto, any of the city. We did get some reading done, which was good. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you will subscribe if you've not already and leave me a comment and follow me on Goodreads to keep up with my reading. All right, have a good night or morning or afternoon, and I will see you next time. Bye.